Hi everyone, I hope that all of you are having a great time preparing for your SPM exam. In today's video, we're going to discuss question 4, 5 and 6, trial paper Pahang, paper 2, and we'll start right now. Now let's look at question number 4. This question is under the chapter progression. Okay, a cylindrical wedding cake, so it's a cylinder, okay, and it's a wedding cake. You know how a wedding cake looks like? A wedding cake has a few tiers. It can be 2 tiers, 3 tiers, some can be 5 tiers. So it looks like that. Okay, so in our mind, we're imagining the wedding cake visually so that we can understand the question better. Okay, which consists of different sizes with a fixed height of 7 cm and placed on top of one another. It means that the bottom one will be the biggest one, and then as it moves up, it becomes smaller and smaller. Okay, and then given that the circumference of the topmost cake is 18 pi. Okay, the radius of each subsequent cake is increased by 3 cm from the top of it. The volume of the bottommost cake is 3087 pi cm cube. So find the height in cm of the wedding cake, and it's 4 marks, and the total circumference in cm of the wedding cake. Okay, so the information that they give us in the question is 18 pi and the volume 3087 pi. So we will have to use this to find the information that we need, like the radius, because the radius is not given. Okay, but the height is given here. The height for each level is 7 cm. Okay, so now I'm going to use the topmost one, which is 18 pi. Okay, so I'll do a side working. Okay, so for the topmost, okay, it's 2 pi r equals to, because it's circumference, the formula is 2 pi r. So it's equals to 18 pi. So we can actually get the radius of the topmost cake. Okay, so we can cancel off the pi, and then r is 18 divided by 2 is 9. Okay, and then the volume of the bottommost cake, supposed to be most bottom cake. Anyways, it's okay. So most bottom cake is 3087 pi. Okay, which means that Tn is, we need to find what is the Tn. Okay, so the volume for a cylinder is pi r square h, right? Okay, so it's pi r square h equals to 3087 pi. Okay, so from here, we know that our h is 7. So it's given in the question 7 over here. Okay, just in case if you can't see it. So pi r square 7 equals to 3087 pi. We can cancel off the pi and the pi. Okay, then we can find the r. Okay, so r is equals to 3087 divided by 7, and then we square root it. Okay, so let's calculate this. So 3087 divided by 7, and then we square root it. So we get 21. Okay, we'll get 21. So this is 21. It means that the radius of the most bottom cake is 21. Okay, so 21 cm. So I'm going to write here most bottom. Okay, and then so now we can find a progression. Okay, so for A, okay, our first one, the first term T1 is 9. The radius is 9. Okay, and then to get the second one, the second tier, the radius increased by 3 cm is stated in the question. Increased by 3 cm, it means that 9 plus 3 is 12. Then we can find T3 as well. So T3 is 12 plus 3 is 15. Okay, and then the most bottom Tn is 21. So now we got to find what is our n. Okay, what is our n? Then we're going to use the Tn formula. So what's the Tn formula? A plus n minus 1 d, right? Okay, so Tn is equals to A plus n minus 1d. So we're going to put into this formula. Okay, so our A, okay, this is 21. Okay, our A is 9. Okay, 9 plus n minus 1, and the difference, common difference is 3. Okay, because it increased by 3 cm. Okay, so increased by 3 cm, so 3 here. Okay, so now we're going to find what is the n. So we're going to solve this. Okay, so 21 minus 9. Okay, after that we divided by 3 equals to n minus 1. Okay, let's calculate this. 21 minus 9, then divided by 3, and then plus 1 is 5. Okay, our n is 5. It means that our wedding cake has 5 tiers. Okay, 5 tiers or 5 levels. Okay, so Now we need to find the height of the wedding cake. So if each level or each tier is 7 cm, so what if it's 5 layers? 5 layers times 7 cm, therefore the total height is 5 times 7, 35 cm. So that would be the answer. Okay, so the height of the wedding cake, so I'm going to write here the height, okay, of the cake, okay, is 5 times 7 cm. Okay, and we'll get 35 cm. That will be the answer for A. Okay, isn't that easy? Huh? Okay, now let's solve for B. Find the total circumference in cm of the wedding cake. Okay, so how? Okay, let me use another color. Okay, so that you won't get confused. Okay, so for B, part B. Okay, so for this, we'll find circumference. So what's the formula for circumference? Circumference is C equals to 2 pi r, right? Okay, so now we're going to get a new progression for circumference. Okay, so for the T1, okay, is 2 pi r. So we know that our first radius is 9. Okay, so it means it's 18 pi. Okay, that will be a T1. Then T2, okay, will be 2 times pi, 2 pi r also, but our radius is 12. Okay, 12. So therefore is 24 pi. Okay, so to find T3, we're going to use 2 pi r also. Okay, so for the third one, our radius is, so 12 plus 3 is 15. Okay, so it's 15. So it's 30 pi. Okay, so which means that our A is 18 pi. Okay, and our D is, so 24 pi minus 18 pi is 6 pi. Okay, so from here, I'm going to find what is my total circumference. Okay, which is S5. Okay, because there are 5 layers. So find S5. Okay, so the formula for Sn is what? N over 2 bracket 2a plus n minus 1d. Okay, so that would be the formula. So n over 2, okay, write down the formula lah, just in case you all forget, right? N over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 d. Okay, write down the formula. Okay, just in case if you substitute wrongly, maybe you might get 1 PT mark. Maybe. Okay, yeah. And also when you check the answers, you see the formula and then you can compare. Save your time to check your answers, right? Okay, so n is 5 over 2. Okay, 2a is 18 pi. Okay, plus n is 5. So 5 minus 1 is 4. And then d is 6 pi. Okay, so now let's solve this. So this is 36 pi, okay, plus 24 pi, we get 60 pi, and then times 5 over 2, we get 150 pi. Okay, so I'm going to write here, 150 pi. So if they want us to get the answer in decimal without a pi, you just times 22 over 7. Okay, so we get a decimal number, which is 471.4. 471.4. Okay, so 471.4. Okay, in cm. So that will be the answer. Let's look at question number 5. So this chapter is under the chapter Quadratic Equation. Diagram 2 shows a plan of 5 terrace houses to be built on Encik Zulkifli's land. The perimeter of the whole 5 houses is 160 meters, means his perimeter is 160. So he allocated an area of 600 meters square, so area is 600 to construct a road in front of the houses and on both sides of the end lots as in diagram 2. The width of the road is x cm, or x meter. So find the length and width in meters of each house. Okay, let's say this is 2x because all the same length, 2x, 2x. Okay, let's say this will be y. Let's say here to here is y, okay, and then here to here will be 10x. So here's 10x, okay. So now I'm going to use the perimeter to find the first equation. So perimeter is 160. So the perimeter of the 5 houses will be 2 times length plus 2 times width, okay. So 2 times the length is 10x plus 2 times the width. So 2y equals to 160. So now all the terms are divided by 2. So I get 10x plus y equals to 80. So y is equals to 80 minus 10x. So this will be my first equation. Okay? So now the next one is area. So and he allocated an area of 600 meters square. to construct a road. Means it's the area of the road. So how to find this? Okay, so area of the road is the big rectangle minus the small rectangle. Okay, so the big rectangle will be, the length will be 12x, because 10x plus x plus x. Okay, so it will be 12x. So 12x times with x plus y. Okay, because this whole thing is x plus y. Okay, that will be x plus y. Okay, so minus the inside. Okay, the area of the inside. So 10x times y will be 10xy, and it's equals to 600. Okay, so now let's solve this. So we're going to times in. Okay, or we times in first. So it'll be 12x squared plus 12xy minus 10xy equals to 600. And then we can solve this. 12x squared then plus 2xy equals to 600. And then next is I'm going to substitute equation 1 into equation 2. And before that, we can simplify. Okay, we can simplify this first. All divided by 2. Okay, so we got 6x squared plus x squared xy equals to 300. So this is equation 2. So I'm going to substitute 1 into 2. Okay, so I'll get 6x squared plus x, and then 80 minus 10x equals to 300. Okay, so expand this. I continue at the bottom. And I can still do one more step. That is, I expand this one first. 6x squared plus 80x minus 10x squared equals to 300. Okay, and then after that we simplify. This will be negative 4x squared, because 6x squared minus 10x squared is negative 4x squared, plus 80x. Okay, then after that minus 300 equals to 0. Okay, and then after that all the terms, all divided by negative 4. Okay, all can be divided by negative 4. So divided by negative 4, we'll get x squared. Then, this will be minus. Okay, so 80 divided by 4 is 20x. And then 300 divided by negative 4 is positive 75. And then we'll see whether we can factorize this or not. Okay, so when we factorize, so we'll get x here and x here equals to 0. So we have 15 and 5, because 75 is 15 times 5. So we have 15 and 5, and then both minus. Okay, then I'm going to continue my working here. So if it's x minus 15 equals to 0, so x is 15, or x equals to 5. But when we replace the 15 into the y, into this y, equation 1, it doesn't make sense, because 80 minus 10 times 15 is a negative answer. So for length, it cannot be negative answer. So therefore, this is rejected. Okay? So final answer. Okay? So I got to mention what is the length and what is the width. So the length of the house, okay, is 10x, right? So 10x, so 10 times 5 is 50 meters. Okay? 50 meters. And then the width of the house is y, right? So what is the y? Okay, so I'm going to substitute into the y formula in equation 1. So 80 minus 10 times 5, so equals to, so 80 minus 50 is 30. So 30 meters. So that will be the answer. Okay, now let's look at question number 6. Okay, diagram 3 shows the circle cross-section of a timber is kayu balak, which is floating in the water with a radius of 80 cm. So radius 80. Line AC is the water surface and B is the highest point from the water surface. Okay, let's say this is H. Okay, the ratio of the highest point B from the water surface to the diameter of the circle. So diameter of the circle is 80 times 2. So diameter is 160 cm. Okay, so it's 1 to 4. That will be the ratio. So calculate the length of arc ABC. Okay, and also the area of cross-section below the water surface. So we're going to find these two. Okay, so before that, I'm going to draw a proper circle that represents the timber. Okay, here. Okay, so the diameter will be here. Okay, and then this will be the center. Then he will be to the C, and then his center to the A, and then this will be the water surface. Okay, so you can also draw another one here. Okay, so now I'm going to label the information. So this is A, this is B, okay, and this is C, and this is H, and this is 90 degrees, and this is 0, which is the center of the circle, and then the radius is ADCM, so AD here, so therefore this is also AD because they are also radius. So I need to find what is my H. So they give us a ratio which is 1 to 4, so 1 to 4, let's say this is H, okay, 2, the diameter of the circle is 160. Okay, so H will be 160 divided by 4 is 160 divided by 4 is 40 cm. Okay, which means this is 40. So if this is 40, therefore this is also 40 because the radius is 80. So 80 minus 40, the remainder is 40. Okay, so I let this to be the angle theta. Okay, so now I can find the length of arc ABC. Okay, and the length of arc, the formula is S equals to R theta. Okay, and theta must be in radians. Okay, radian, yeah. Okay, so for A, I'm going to write my answer over here. Okay, A is S equals to R theta. Oh, but before that, we need to find what is the theta. So I'm going to do a side working. Okay, I'm going to use cos. I'm going to focus on the triangle on the right side. Okay, so I'm going to focus on the triangle and I'm going to use cos. Okay, so cos theta, okay, is equals to 40 over 80 because it's A over H. So cos theta is equals to 40 over 80 is 0.5. So shift cos of 0.5 is 60. Okay, 60 degrees. Okay, it's 60 degrees. So if it's 2 theta, because it's AOC, so this is also theta. Okay, on the left side also theta. So 60 times 2 is 120. And this 120 is the angle AOC. But I want to change to radian. So when I change to radian, okay, I use 120 times pi, which is 3.142, divided by 180. Okay, so I will get in decimal, which is 2.095. Okay, 2.095 radian. 2.095 radian. Okay, so I'm going to use this to put into my formula S equals to R theta. So my R, the radius is 80. Okay, it's 80. So it's 80, then times with 2.095. 2.095. Okay, and then it's equals to, okay, let's times together, times 80. So you get 167.57. Okay, 167.57, and the unit is in cm. cm. Okay, so that's the answer for A. Okay, now let's solve for B. Find the area of the cross section below the water surface. Oh, it means that I have to use the circle, the area of the circle minus the area of the segment. Okay, so minus the area of the segment. So what's the formula of area of a circle? Area of a circle is pi r square. Okay, so I'm going to write my answer here, B. So to find the area, okay, equals to pi r square, which is the area of the circle, minus the area of the segment. So the formula for area of the segment is half r square theta minus half r square sine theta. Okay, so the formula in the bracket is area of segment. So equals to, okay, so I'm going to substitute the pi with 3.142 because they want us to substitute. Okay, over here in the question is stated you have to use pi equals to 3.142. Okay, you don't use 22 over 7. So this is 3.142. Okay, r is, radius is 80. Okay, so times 80 square. Okay, then after that minus, okay, this is going to be a long working, half r square theta in radian, okay, which is 2.095, okay, then minus half r 80 square, okay, sine, okay, this sine, let me split this so that you won't get confused, okay, sine, so this theta must be in degree, okay, so it's 120 degrees, so 120 degrees, okay, so now in bracket, close bracket, okay, so equals, okay, let's calculate this. Take your calculator and calculate, okay, 80 square times with 3.142. So we get 20,108.8. Okay, so 20,108.8. Then minus, okay, we're going to solve with this 80 square. So 80 square, then divided by 2 times 2.095. So we get 6,704. Okay, did you get that? 6,704. Okay, minus, okay, now we find what is sine 20 first. So sine 120 first, okay, for sine 120, then after that, times 80 square, after that divided by 2, So we get 2771.28. So 2771.28. Okay, so now let's solve this. 6704 minus just now the answer. Okay, we get 3932. Okay, let's write it down. So 20108.8 minus 3932.72. Okay, so let's minus. Okay, so 108.8. Okay, so 20,108.8 minus 3932.72. So we get 16,176. Okay, we just give our answer is 16,176. Okay, so equals to 16176 cm square because it's area. So that's the answer. Well, that's all for now. Questions 4, 5 and 6. Do you want me to continue discussing question 7 onwards? Let me know in the comments below. If this video gets more than 30 likes, I will consider doing question 7 onwards, because at least I know there are students who really want me to continue discussing this paper and post it on YouTube. Remember to like this video if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!